Here are 5 words every RV enthusiast should know: advocacy, community, education, resources, rewards. That's what the RV Advisor was built on, along with protecting your rights. Visit thervadvisor.com.
This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander, and today I'm joined by William and Karen, and they are from Blue Cub Adventures. And you see the Blue Cub right behind them there in that hangar. Hi, folks. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. This is an interesting adventure that we're on here today on the show because this is the first time that we've had full-time pilots, both of you, on the show, and you have a very off the grid, unusual sort of lifestyle, which I just think is absolutely fascinating. Full disclosure: a mutual friend connected us. And you know, he said, I think these folks would be absolutely great for your podcast, your RV podcast. Not exactly, again, the conventional method that we usually have here on the show with our guests, but I want to hear all about it because it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it started with childhood pictures of you, actually, and you know that's how he introduced us.
Yeah. Well, just pictures. I'm sorry to hear that he inundated you with that.
There was no
video back then.
Okay. So this is fascinating to me because you travel, you fly to your locations. You've got a little off the grid situation. You don't stay in RV parks, right?
Nope.
No, never. Yeah, we were thinking about getting a sticker made up that said "No campgrounds" with an X through it.
Yeah.
We mostly on just federal public land in general.
Yeah. And I've seen different places. I went on your Instagram page, which, by the way, is Instagram /Blue Cub Adventures. And you know, it just seems like wherever you are is your home, and you know, Moab, Utah, I've seen, and different things. Where are you right now? Are you in Utah or Wyoming, or where are you?
Yeah, we're in a hangar right now in Utah, Moab area.
Yeah. And so where's next? I mean, like after we're done chatting here, you're gonna hop in the Cub and fly somewhere?
Yeah, we're gonna probably head over to about 2-hour drive from here, west of here, near Hanksville, and we'll take the trailer over there and the plane over there, and kind of base out of there for probably 4 or 5 days, and then come back to Moab.
So you haul the Cub, and is that right? And then so that's your mode of transportation, so to speak. You both are.
Yeah. A lot of times I'll drive the trailer with the SUV, and then he'll fly the airplane. And then when we get to our destination, and we always chase the good flying weather. So this time of year, Southeast Utah is the best backcountry type flying. That's what we're doing with the airplane. We're always landing on dirt or grass strips pretty much everywhere we go. And we'll tent camp out of the airplane. And then when we need to restock, we'll connect back with the trailer and get an actual real shower in the trailer, and then go back out in the airplane again for a couple more nights.
Yeah. So in general, we've decided recently that most of the time I fly and she drives the trailer, just in case something happens with me in the airplane. I have a little bit more because it's so absolutely remote here. You have to have like full survival equipment with you. And if you go down, you're going to be instantly in a survival situation. So,
wow, no kidding.
Yeah.
But
I'd rather me.
We prepare for all of that. We have lots of gear in the airplane, carry a spot with us that we can send text messages if we need to, all via satellite. So we're prepared for every scenario. And thankfully, so far, nothing has happened.
Yeah, the joke is you can live 2 weeks out of our airplane and 2 weeks out of our car. So, obviously you have to carry even water out here because there's no water to purify. So just consider these.
That's absolutely astounding. I mean, it's a little, obviously, I was gonna say a little different, but it's a lot different than flying a commercial jetliner.
Right.
Just a little, right? So survival mode. So before we go to the break, I just have to hear this. Survival mode. What is, if you were to go, God forbid, you go down, you gotta, whatever you got to do there, make some sort of a landing of some kind. What does that mean exactly? Like, what is on board? What are the things that keep you alive in that stretch?
Well, in general, like this airplane is nice because it will go so slow. And in general, if you pull it off correctly, you land into the wind, near stall, you're going to crash around 35, 40 miles an hour. So most likely it is highly survivable, and both of us wear helmets. So like I believe the statistic is 90% of aviation fatalities are very simple head injuries.
Yeah.
So the helmet gives us a pretty good fighting chance. And basically we get out of the airplane, if we're in good shape, we have satellite devices to call. I carry ham radio stuff with us. Obviously some places still have cell service out here. Just get a hold of someone, and we have enough of a network of folks that are in these similar airplanes that probably could come get us. So most likely that would be the best case scenario, that we would just get a rescue and someone would find us. But we have we carry tents and sleeping bags and fire starting equipment and flares, and just we have
First aid kit.
Yeah, we probably have 50 pounds of stuff for survival, plus a full toolkit. And that goes with the trailer too. I mean, I carry just an absorbent amount of tools. Like yesterday, actually it was yesterday, our line, the tow line that you plug into your car that does the brakes and the lights and all that got pinched.
Yeah.
And I fixed it in 15 minutes, because I have all the tools to do it. So it's no big deal.
That's amazing. Well, the good thing is you don't have to worry about getting sound to work on a podcast ahead of time. That was
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was the one thing that just confounded both of us, right? All of us, it just was, what the heck's going on here? But we got it to work. You got it to work. My guests are William and Karen from Blue Cub Adventures. You see the Blue Cub right behind. Tell us what that plane is exactly.
You can say
it's a Carbon Cub FX2. It's a 2015. It's the very first FX2 that Cub Crafters made. And it has a lot of carbon fiber parts, 180 horsepower engine. It has big 31-inch bush wheel tires that we take down to about 4 or 5 PSI. And then allows us to land on big boulders, high grass, any kind of unimproved strip. And then you just think about it's basically just an off-road vehicle with wings, essentially.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's a good. We a lot of our people that check out this podcast are audio only. They'll just listen to it. They don't actually see it. So I'm just kind of painting a little bit of a picture here for those folks audio only. It's a beautiful plane situated several feet behind them, blue and white, kind of a navy blue and white with looks like a little gray and black or maybe navy blue trim there. A beautiful plane, and seats 2 or 4?
Yep. 2 front and back. We're called 2. So you can fly from either seat. Both controls are in each seat.
Okay, interesting.
And since we're both pilots, we both trade off. So I'll fly some of the bigger, longer strips because I'm newer to this type of flying. I've only been doing it for a couple of years, whereas William has been flying these types of airplanes for 15 years. So he does the more technical, shorter strips or anything that would have like a little bit more technicality to it, or if more wind or any kind of weather situation. We almost always 100% fly in good weather. These planes don't fly at night, and you don't fly in the clouds. So this is all just daytime, nice weather flying type of that we do.
Right. We always hear the phrase "a good day for flying," and that's kind of what you wait for.
And we search for it. So really warm in the summertime. So we head up to Wyoming, Idaho, some of the higher elevations. It's a little cooler, better flying up there. So we do kind of head all over the West, but the West mainly because the West has the best flying and the best public lands for us to hang out with the trailer.
Great. Well, we want to learn a lot more about some of the places you visited and just the general day-to-day activities of getting from point A to point B, because I think it's absolutely fascinating. My guests are William and Karen from Blue Cub Adventures. You can follow them on Instagram. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. Take a quick break and we'll be back in just a moment.
The rights of the RV enthusiast are important. That's why the RV Advisor has built a nationwide network of RV owners, empowering you with advice you can trust. Visit thervadvisor.com.
We are back on the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. My guests are William and Karen from Blue Cub Adventures. And again, you can follow them on Instagram and check out some really cool pictures that they have posted there. And speaking of really cool pictures, you guys have seen some really cool spots as well, and got to visit some places that maybe not everybody gets to see because of an unusual level of accessibility, I guess you could say, that you guys have. And so now you said you're in Utah, and going to be heading out again. Tell us about the travel trailer that you have a little bit.
Well, it's a Micro Mini 2106 FBS, which is a 21-foot bumper pull travel trailer, queen size bed. It's got a decent size shower and pretty big refrigerator and double axle. Those were kind of our requirements for a trailer, and that kind of fit. We don't know of actually any other trailer that would fit that mold. So we outfitted it for solar. So we have 600 watts of solar panels. We bought our own individual LiPo cells and wired them up. And so we have 300 amp hours. That's a 12 volt system, 2200 watt inverter. Obviously upgraded the charger. We carry around a Honda generator with us, put a soft start in it, have tank heaters on it. So we're just only basically boondocking in these public land areas. Like I think we said, we've yet to stay in a campground, which is kind of nice. So we just kind of roam around in that thing.
But we like to eat good, so I can run my Instant Pot, my George Foreman, and my air fryer off of that inverter. Not all the time. Yeah. But one at a time. So we had sweet potato fries the other night. So we eat well.
For you, that's good. So is it fair to say it's better than some airline food?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
Because of our job, we eat out so much that when we're in the trailer, the last thing we want to do is eat out at a restaurant. So we cook 100% of the time food, and we eat well.
Yeah, that's terrific. And we were talking in the break, and Karen, you shared that you guys sort of happened upon this lifestyle a little bit.
Yeah.
You kind of had the conventional, home apartment kind of situation that most of us do. But then this sort of, kind of revealed itself, if you will. How did that happen?
Well, we already were flying the airplane. And so we weren't doing a ton of flying because obviously we work for a living too.
Yeah.
And of course, during COVID, I was maybe getting furloughed. So we decided to downsize, get rid of our apartments and a lot of our stuff, and move full time into a travel trailer. And it was literally just a plan for losing my job. And we found we absolutely loved it. So we thought, well, let's just keep doing this. I mean, we're both younger. We don't have kids. We can do it. We have the ability. We have the gumption to live off the grid like this.
Right.
We can travel pretty much anywhere we want, and then just hop on an airline flight to go to our jobs for a handful of days, and then meet back up when we're done with a section of work, and then head in the plane and do our own fun flying.
Yeah, fun flying. Yeah, it's so sort of your vocation is in some ways become also a very serious hobby.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Were you going to say something else?
Yeah, we both live and breathe aviation. Obviously, the flying is our passion. It's our hobby. I mean, so it just made sense to kind of combine it all in one.
Yeah. Any pets on this adventure? No.
I would have a farm if I could, but I would be collector of all animals. But no, unfortunately, we move too much. We're gone for work too many days. I mean,
it's a lot. It's a lot. I know that a lot of pilots that I've known a few, their background came from military flying. Do either one of you have any background with that, or no, just straight commercial?
We both met flying corporate jets 15 or so years ago, and then we both moved on to airlines about 5 and 8 years ago, depending on which one you're talking to.
Yeah.
And we'll just remain airline pilots till we have to retire at 65, or maybe we'll see.
I have a friend who retired recently from the airlines, was with American forever, and 65, and decided, didn't decide, it was decided for him that would be it. I would imagine that, this is just a guess on my part. I know sometimes like professional athletes have a difficult time transitioning back into life before being on the field or on the court or whatever sport they play. When that day comes, when you guys, and it's a ways away, of course, but when you do retire from commercial, that transition, do you foresee that transition being a challenge, or do you guys think, we'll just keep flying the Piper, we're fine?
Yeah, exactly.
We have seen that with folks, and basically their life is their job kind of thing. Their identity is wrapped up in their job.
Yeah,
that's true for a lot of places. But her more than I loves to go to work and fly. I do too, but given the choice, I would rather be flying this this airplane.
Right. I would think it's a lot more, first of all, it's a lot more relaxed. It's you and the sky, so to speak. And again, a layman trying to sort of just kind of get a sense of what it's like for being a commercial pilot. There's so many checklists and responsibilities and things you have to prepare for. And of course, you've got your co-pilot, and you've got passengers and rules and all the regulations that come with it. Not that there aren't some regulations when you're flying the other one, but it's a whole different animal, I would assume, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be an awful lot of pressure, challenge to kind of adhere to all these rules, right?
Yeah, it's like, none of us are guaranteed tomorrow, and our feeling is, why wait till retirement to do the fun things like this, do it now.
Yeah.
And that's why we've gotten our finances in such a way that we can just fly this and enjoy it, because we don't know what we're going to get down the road. What if we retire and die? I mean, that's terrible to say, but you just don't know. Like we're enjoying now and living that passion, and we do like to share it with other people. We give rides all the time. Anytime we see a little kid at the airport, or even an adult, I've never been in a small plane. Oh, let's take you for a ride, And
well, they're in good hands, that's for sure. You have to,
Yeah, we were invited to a get together in Wyoming with a bunch of legitimate cowboys, and we gave 15 rides in one day. And had we not, it's the other part of it too. We cut our expenses back so much that we don't have to work as much, and that's given us a lot more opportunities really to give back, like she was saying.
Yeah.
We've given so many rides and hopefully inspired some young kids along the way too, because even middle-aged adults, I mean, I can't tell you how many conversations we've had with people that were thinking about just quitting their job and becoming a pilot, because the jobs, right, I mean, they're hiring like gangbusters right now. So if you bust your tail, you can get there in a few years. It's not going to be easy, but you can get there even as a middle-aged person now, changing careers. And we like I said, we talk about, I mean, once a month someone is asking us about that.
No kidding. Yeah. So it's that attractive. I would think it would be. I have I've flown many times, but I do have a fear of heights, and so I don't know if I'd be a great candidate for it. I think as long as I'm strapped in and I'm in the back, I'll enjoying a beverage, I'm in better shape than I would be up in the cockpit. But but that is absolutely great that you share your passion, your love of flying with other folks outside of the sort of the commercial world, and they see you flying this beautiful plane behind you, and they take rides with you. Before we go, I want to find out some of your favorite places, or maybe one each. You can tell us a place that you love to go. And it's like, what, we got to get back here. This was absolutely spectacular. I had no idea it was this gorgeous.
You first.
Probably Happy Canyon for me. There's a place in Utah. It's just east of Canyonlands National Park. And there is a little strip there. So in the southeast Utah region, a lot of the airstrips that we're landing on used to be old uranium mining strips back in like the 1940s, 50s. And those are all since, obviously abandoned now. And so the Utah Backcountry Pilots Association, they, in conjunction with other national organizations, we keep up with 50 or 60 strips in the Utah area, and Happy Canyon is one of those strips. And so there's a few minor cabins that are still there, and we can land and we can go exploring. There's a lot of petrified wood down in that area to kind of look at, and there's lots of hiking down in there. There is no roads there though, so the only way to get down into that canyon is with one of these airplanes. So we go down there, pitch a tent, stay the night. You can see every star in the sky. In fact, one night on a moonless night, I could not find the Big Dipper. That's how many stars were in the sky. Wow. The Milky Way was very vibrant. We're in dark sky territory here in Utah when we're out flying. So especially at night, a lot of times we'll sleep with the tent bonnet off just so we can see the stars at night when we're sleeping. Yeah. So it's just a peaceful getaway from the rat race of our jobs and society. And so that would be my favorite.
Yeah. What about you? What about yours, William?
Well, that is my favorite place too. I mean,
she stole your thunder, huh?
Yeah, I know. I love Wyoming though, and I can just talk about another one of those strips up there. It's Miracle Mile is the name of it, and it's some of the world's best trout fishing is there. And that strip has been there for a very, very, very long time. And I don't know if it was mine exploration or not, I do know they evac some people out of there back in the day that were injured, but we go down there fairly frequently, and that's kind of what we're both. I'm from Ohio, she's from South Carolina, and our first out west trip together in an airplane like this wasn't this airplane; it was a different one, but we landed at that strip. We walked down the hill. We were doing a little bit of fishing, and a bald eagle flew by, pulled a trout out of the water right in front of us, and I was just like, America. So I was like, I think we were both hooked from that trip. We had to move out west and spend it here. So that's a pretty special place for us. It's that is another maintained strip by the RAF, which is with Recreational
Aviation Foundation.
Yeah, so it's a nationwide organization that kind of keeps these old strips alive because there's a lot of pressure to close them, and they're kind of like the in between to keep them open. And some places you can go and rent cabins and such, like things like that. Like there's a nice one in Montana that's like that. We actually haven't been to that one. Ryan Field, yeah. So they do really good work for keeping things still open.
That's great. Well, I mean, maybe one day we'd love to have you come back, and we'd love to see maybe one day we can even get some footage from when one of you is up in the air, and kind of give us a bird's eye view of some cool places. That would be a lot of fun. Maybe we can plan that down the line, because this has been absolutely fascinating. I while I'm not a pilot myself, I have a great interest in the history of aviation, and it's just very interesting to me all around. I think it's great, and I love it that it's not only your vocation but your passion, your hobby. That's really pretty cool. So thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us on.
William and Karen from Blue Cub Adventures. I want to have a special shout out to Mike Kabasti, a dear friend, old friend of mine, and of course a new friend of theirs, who kind of put us together, got us connected, and without him we wouldn't have been able to do this. So thanks, Mike. Really appreciate it. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap things up.
GPS is Gigi's personal services. She's an RV expert with over 3 decades of experience. To learn more, visit thervadvisor.com today.
Wrapping things up now on the RV Advisor Podcast, just want to remind you, rvaca.org. RVACA.org is the place to go to register your unit. Plus, anything having to do with consumer issues, that's the place to visit. Soon to be your voice in Washington, RVACA.org. Well, we thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time right here on the RV Advisor Podcast. So long, everybody.